Michael, do you want to just briefly touch upon? I don't have any story in front of me. I watched the president's
Yeah, what
speech.
was you
Let's
touch
briefly
on?
touch on it just a few minutes here. So on Friday, completely unannounced, President Obama came out and wanted to say a few words about the George Zimmerman trial, Trayvon Martin. He basically said how in the past he said Trayvon Martin could have been his son. Well, the
Could have
truth
been him now.
now it
Yeah.
could have been him. He said Trayvon Martin could have been him 35 years ago. Um, I think for the very first time, really, at least not in a campaigning mode, Obama spoke about his experience as a black man living in America, how he was profiled when he was younger. He was followed in stores. He would walk by just down the street, and people would lock their doors in their car. It's amazing that he did this. I do think so. A lot of people were attacking this, like, if Obama cared so much about, people, drones, and this and that. And yes, these are all important issues. But I mean, whether you think Obama's point is to actually is actually to do something about it, it will no doubt spark conversation.
Well,
I mean, it's the same thing with when he finally started talking about gay marriage in this country. Regardless of what he did or did not do to actually make it happen, his words definitely changed the conversation in this country, and it definitely swayed people into, being happy. Things like DOMA are no longer a thing. It's a thing of the past now. I mean, what would you say?
I would say two. Think there's 3 points. One is that what he said, just for having said it, I thought was obviously in some levels an act of real political courage. Though I think it was also an act of political posterity because, not in a Pollyanna-ish way. We're going to have these issues with us, obviously, for a very, very, very long time,
Of
and
course,
they're really
yes.
bad. But I think obviously there's a generation that he's speaking to, which at
That
least
can be affected
that
and
can be
change.
effective, that is more receptive to that message. I think the other thing that's revealing about it is, I don't think it's really worth dwelling on too much.
The
frankly.
right wing response.
I mean, the response to that speech, just to put it in context, it shows that. I mean, the emotionalism, the complete and utter inability to have a discussion of basic facts of race without either turning into racial attacks on Obama or emotional tantrums or conspiracy theories about what he said. Again, it just shows that this politics is built on this really deep-rooted, emotional, irrational, fear-based reactivity. I thought that was very revealing. And then, the other
It
thing is
also
actually that Eric Holder actually said some things in a speech, I think, at the NAACP, which were a lot actually tougher than Obama. So I think you're seeing a pretty good response from the administration on this, and I think he deserves enormous credit. I think this is exactly the type of thing that we talk about. So when we're talking with Steve Clemens, or you want to talk about Obama, the fact that he's relied on drones instead of serious, diplomacy, all of these things which are completely, or Wall Street, all these things, yes, a million different things to validly and strongly criticize Obama about. But I think when he takes a stand of leadership, which is what he did, and you see the type of just utterly grotesque vitriol that's thrown at him, you have to stand in his corner. We can't. I mean, I've seen people like Matt was saying, like, oh, the drones. I've seen other people.
You could be with Obama on one issue and against him on another. You don't have to be one of these people who are 100% gung-ho Obama, defending Obama for this and that. You could defend Obama for this and then be critical of him on that.
And I think for very specifically, because I think when this issue comes up, this isn't just about Obama. This is about, it's existential. The very existence of having a black man as president sends these people into such a fury. And the very reality of him commenting in a compassionate, rational, and commonsensical way about these issues sends them into such a frenzy that it's important on a cultural level to register support for him when he does something like that. And I think that's an important takeaway.
It's irony. It really is. These people calling him, he's the racist. Race baiter in chief, I believe, is
Stunning.
what Todd Starnes on Fox News
Yes.
said.
Stunning.
It really is the issue defined in them saying there is no issue.
That's exactly right. So, but again, I think that there is this part, and I think that this might be, yeah. But this is the cultural aspect of this, and this stuff we can say like, oh, this is all distraction and blah blah blah. But actually, no, it's not. These issues are incredibly important, and when he takes a step in a positive direction and in a courageous direction, which he did, and when the response is utterly grotesque as it has been, it's important to register that fact and provide some support for that because it is important. So I think that's, and then there's obviously a huge policy agenda to pursue and a huge cultural agenda to achieve, and I just still reflect on, I reflect on the fact that the fear that drives this conversation and the irrationality and the racism that's still there but not acknowledged and not brought out of the shadows is kind of stunning.